What if a guy mastered a legendary lost martial arts technique that lets him throw literal fireballs, but all he actually wants to do is live a quiet life in the suburbs with his wife and kids? Written by Robert Kirkman, Firepower has pretty much everything you could ever want. Martial arts, snakes, old kung fu masters meditating, ninja assassins, snakes biting people on the neck, people biting snakes' heads right off, fireballs, awesome villains covered in snakes, dragons, family coming together, and of course, more snakes. So without further ado, let's begin. Owen Johnson lives a happy life with his beautiful wife, Kelly, his 2 children, Doug and Haley, and their dog Peanut Butter. They are getting ready to host a barbecue, but Owen forgot to get hot dog buns, so his wife wants him to go to the grocery store to pick some up. Haley wants to race her father and says she's gonna get him this time. She's got him all figured out. They begin the race and Haley gets a head start, but her father outsmarts her and jumps over the fences. She runs all the way to the grocery store and arrives first, feeling confident that she won the race, but her dad is already inside waiting for her with a handcart. They run into Tyler, one of Haley's friends, and she stays behind to talk to him while her dad does the shopping. Owen runs into someone he knows, a guy named Ma Guang, but he's not happy to see him. The man mentions something about Ling Zan, a common acquaintance of theirs, but Owen doesn't want to talk to him. Ma Guang says they need to talk. There's a sports field at the high school and he'll be there at midnight. On their way back home, Haley sees that her father is not paying attention, so she makes a joke about her and Tyler having a baby. He says her joke is not funny, but he doesn't need to worry about it because she's responsible. She can be trusted. They finally arrive home, but the guests are already inside, and Kelly is pissed. Owen's parents arrive as well, and the father makes a joke about turning himself in, since Kelly is a police officer. He then goes to bother his son, giving him tips on how to cook the meat, even though he's hosted many barbecues before and knows how to do it. Everyone is having a good time and enjoying some delicious food, including Officer Reggie, who's Kelly's partner on the force. Owen restores and sells old furniture, and with help from his partner Larry, he sold an expensive table. Reggie mentions how Kelly's a beast. She chased a guy over a fence and caught him. They went to the same academy together, but he can't do what she does. Owen's mother compliments her son on having a great family and a great life. She's proud of him. She wants him to enjoy it while it lasts. Pretty soon he'll be going to cookouts with his children's families. It all goes by so fast. While they are talking, a ninja is hiding in a nearby tree and watching what they do. It was a beautiful day, but Kelly's shift starts in 7 hours and she needs to get some sleep. Owen sneaks outside and goes to the field behind the high school to meet Ma Guang, who is waiting for him. Guang says their master Wei Lun is gone. He abandoned them and nobody knows where he went. They need Owen to take his place because if the Scorched Earth clan were to attack, they couldn't defend themselves. In the meantime, their clan is being led by Chou Feng. He's the one holding them together, but Owen thinks he killed Ling Zan, their common friend. Guang says that the people at the temple think Owen is the one who killed Ling Zan, so the two of them get into a heated fight. Owen is better than him, and he also has a special ability which allows him to summon fireballs. Ling Zan's body burnt when they found it, but Owen loved her and Guang knows he didn't kill her. He would have never hurt her. The two of them used to be good friends and they hug it out like gentlemen, but Owen refuses to go back to the temple with him, saying he's a different person now. He has a life, and he's not who he once was. But Guang says he can't hide forever. If he can find him, who else can? Owen goes back home and jumps in bed next to Kelly, but the ninja from before sneaks inside undetected. Owen is able to sense that someone is in the room with them and springs into action. The two of them begin fighting, but they are both skilled ninjas and they don't even make a sound. Kelly is completely unbothered. Owen manages to push him out of the room, but there are 2 more ninjas waiting in the corridor. If you are enjoying the video, please stop for a second and subscribe to my channel. It really helps a lot. Thank you. He fights all of them, but he is superior to them in every aspect and they are having a tough time. The fight enters Doug's room, but just like with Kelly, they are completely silent and the boy continues sleeping unbothered. The fight continues in the corridor and Owen uses his powers to shoot another fireball, this time burning 2 of the ninjas. One of them catches fire and he tries to put it out with a blanket, but Peanut Butter sees them from the couch. The dog panics and thinks his owner is in danger, so he starts barking, which causes a lot of noise. Kelly wakes up panicking and she comes downstairs armed with a shotgun. Owen checks to see if they have tattoos on their arms to see if they belong to the Scorched Earth clan, but they don't. He realizes these guys didn't come here to kill and calls out to Guang, who was hiding in the living room. He just wanted to scare him into coming back to the temple with him and says he was desperate. But Owen says that Chou Feng tried to kill him. That's why he believes he killed Ling Zan and that's why he left. But his master, Wei Lun, refused to believe him and Guang will do the same. But Chou Feng tried to kill him, and if he's leading the temple now, he's definitely not going back. This is his life now, here with his family. He He's happy here, and he wants Guang to take his ninjas and go. But if he chooses to bury his head in the sand, his world will eventually burn down around him. Kelly wonders if he's talking about the dragon, but that's ridiculous, and Owen agrees. His wife knows about his secret past, and that he's running from it. She only wishes he would wake her up, as she wanted to fight ninjas also. Starting tomorrow, she wants to do some more training together. She feels like she's getting a little rusty, and also the kids too. They should be able to defend themselves in case they're ever really attacked. Another ninja was keeping an eye on them, but this guy isn't one of Guang's people. He goes back to his master and reports everything he's seen tonight, saying they are playing games and none of them are ready for what's coming. He bears the tattoo of the Scorched Earth clan, the rival clan, but his name is Wei Lun, Owen's first master who abandoned the temple. In the morning, Owen takes the dog for a walk, but he makes eye contact, which makes it weird. Kelly isn't hungry, especially after last night, and just wants coffee, so Doug offers to eat her bacon. Reggie picks her up in the police car, but she looks like crap and blames it on the dog, who barked all night. On their way to school, the dad mentions he wants to start training them. They live in a dangerous world and he wants them to be prepared. Doug thinks it's kinda cool and can hardly wait to start, but Haley doesn't think a karate kick is going to save them from climate change, which is the most dangerous thing they're facing. The antique shop is doing great, and Larry just sold an expensive vase to someone after lying to him about how rare this thing is. Owen is still working on that expensive table, but its buyer is picking it up later and he needs to finish staining it. Luckily, he knows a special way of getting the stain to dry super fast, so he should be done by the time the buyer comes. Owen takes a break and goes on top of a water tower to have his lunch alone. After his encounter with Guang, he can't stop thinking about his time with Ling Zan and his time spent at the temple with the other monks. He and she used to be lovers, and she wanted them to leave the temple together after she found out a dark secret, but he didn't want to leave and she was eventually killed. Kelly and her partner get into a fight with a criminal who steals their gun and points it at them, but she's a very skilled fighter and deals with him with a powerful kick. She acts confident and asks her partner to arrest him if he wants his sidearm back. Owen begins training his kids, but so far they aren't impressed and they want him to teach them something cool. He asks them to attack him together, but he does a kick spin on the ground and knocks both of them to the ground. Luckily, their mother comes and shows the kids how it's done. She's a good fighter, but she's no match for him and he easily dodges her attacks. Owen sees a butterfly, which reminds him of something, and he drops his guard down, allowing Kelly to land a powerful kick. Apparently, the ninja that was watching them before is actually Kelly's partner, and he's secretly working with Wei Lun. Ma Guang returns back to his clan at the temple, but he didn't manage to convince Owen to come back. Chou Feng is disappointed in him, saying he allowed him to return because he promised him results. Chou Feng goes into one of the rooms where he had prepared an ambush for Owen, but since he didn't come, they're gonna have to go to him if they want to kill him. Kelly wants to know why her husband got distracted during training. It's uncommon for him to drop his guard down, but seeing the butterfly took him back to his days at the temple. Kelly knows he was thinking about Ling Zan and says she can't be around him when she knows he's thinking about her. Two monks are training at the temple, but Ma Guang wants them to stop and take the rest of the day off. Chou Feng shows up and screams at them, ordering them to continue fighting. This is the order of the Flaming Fist, not the order of the lazy student. In the morning, Owen wants to give his wife a kiss, but she's not in the mood and acts distant. Later, he goes to lunch with his father and asks for advice, but the old man wants to know if he still loves Ling Zan. He will always love her, but he's been with Kelly almost 15 years. She's the mother of his children. She's everything to him. Maybe Kelly is worried about nothing, or maybe she's right to feel jealous. Either way, Owen needs to talk to his wife and set things straight. The two of them have dinner reservations at a fancy restaurant, but the kids stay behind to watch the house. As soon as they leave, Haley calls Tyler and invites him over, and Doug agrees to keep his mouth shut. Before going inside, we see that the four ninjas from the temple are watching their house and preparing an attack. At dinner, the husband and wife talk about past lovers, and Kelly says she's never lost someone close to her and she doesn't know how hard that must be for him. What her husband and Ling Zan had was special. It was a bond that went through a lot together, and when he lost her, it was devastating. He came to America devastated, and when they met, he was Kelly's wounded animal. She nursed him back to health. She was attracted to how much he needed her. What Owen and Zan had was special. They were training and fighting at the temple, and it's like they went to war and college together at the same time. But they never had a mortgage. They never had swim classes or carpools or dinner parties. She never met his parents, and he never met hers. He loved Zan, or at least he thought he did, until he met her, which puts her mind at ease. Owen excuses himself to go to the bathroom when a ninja attacks him with a chain. She wraps it around him, but he uses his special powers to burn it and free himself. He then shoots her with a couple of fireballs which knock her unconscious. He goes back into the restaurant to check on his wife, but the bigger guy is holding her hostage. She manages to break free and shoots him with her pistol, but he deflects the bullet with his blade. Next, Owen jumps towards him and kicks him in the face, but this guy is huge and takes it like a man. Kelly asks everyone in the restaurant to run outside, but they're afraid of her because she has a gun, so she shows them her badge. Owen shoots this guy with fireballs, but he blocks the attacks and is completely unfazed by them. His blade is quite big and knocks Owen to the ground over the tables, straight into his wife. Apparently, the girl from outside is this guy's girlfriend and he goes to check on her. She got beaten up pretty bad. 2 ninjas stayed at the house to kidnap the children, but the kids saw them and are now hiding inside the house. Tyler causes a distraction, but he's not on the list, which makes him expendable. Haley wants to help her boyfriend and throws plates towards them, but this does nothing. Doug attacks one of them, but he gets smacked over the head, which almost knocks him unconscious. The kids stood no chance against trained ninja assassins, but their dad comes to the rescue. Luckily, Doug wasn't hurt too badly. He's more interested in the fireball his dad just shot from his hands. Kelly is nearly stabbed with a samurai sword, but the ninja missed and it's just a small cut. The assassins say they were instructed to bring them alive, but they don't need all 4 of them, which means the wife is expendable. Owen realizes that Magwang was sent to bring him in, but when he refused, these guys were sent to intimidate him. He goes all out and uses his powers to burn one of them alive. He deals with the woman by stabbing her with her own sword, the same one that almost killed his wife. His family is safe and they get in the car to escape, but the big guy is after them. The girl with the chains is still alive and she grabs onto the car, so Owen gets on top of it. The big guy jumps towards him and gets blown away by a powerful fireball. Kelly backs up the car and slams straight into the girl, knocking her to the ground. They eventually manage to escape, but Tyler is still with them, so they drop him off so as to not put him in any more danger. They can't go back home, so Kelly brings them to her partner's apartment, Reggie's. Owen tells his kids the truth, that when he was younger he trained at a place called the Temple of the Flaming Fist. The order that trained there had developed the ability to use the body's energy to generate heat, intense heat. They were working to rediscover a lost ability where the most powerful among them could generate so much heat they could ignite the air, and they called this the fire power. Their main goal was to take them back to the temple. They claim to need his power, but he has no idea why they wanted all of them. Wei Lun appears and calls him foolish, saying there are still a great many things he doesn't know. Owen is happy to see his old master, especially after Ma Guang said he abandoned the temple. But things aren't what they seem, and Wei Lun bears the mark of the Scorched Earth clan, an opposing evil clan. Reggie asks his master if he needs his help, but Kelly is just shocked that they even know each other. Wei Lun shows his former student why he's the master and manages to free himself and get on top of him. The 2 of them begin fighting and the master is impressed with all the techniques he was able to learn since they didn't train together. He gets cocky and drops his guard down, allowing Owen to land a perfect uppercut to his chin. Owen demands to know why he turned his back on him at the temple, why he let anyone think he killed Ling Zan when he knew he couldn't do that. But the old man claims the dragon is real. It's all real, all of it, even though Owen doesn't want to believe it. It all started shortly after Ling Zan was killed. He found her book, the same one she showed Owen, but he kept it a secret, even from those closest to him. It mostly droned on about the history of the Scorched Earth clan, how it was founded, their teachings and their goals. Then what he learned was inconceivable. For years he tried to ignore what he learned. He refused to believe it because if it was true, it would have meant everything he dedicated his life to was a lie. As time went on, his doubts grew stronger, so much so that he couldn't hide it. And it wasn't until Cho Feng turned against him that he knew his suspicions were correct. Ling Zan, Owen's father, they were never turned against the clan. They only learned the truth, and once he knew it, he left to join the Scorched Earth clan in their unending mission to release the dragon so that they can destroy it. Chu Feng was one of the few at the temple who knew the truth, that the Temple of the Flaming Fist was founded to protect the dragon. Out of nowhere, the assassins from before break into the apartment and start attacking them. Wei Lun asks Owen to take his family to safety while he stays behind to deal with them, promising to find them later. But the assassins are only here to take Owen alive, so they don't need to hold back against the old man. Wei Lun gets stabbed and killed right in front of them and he drops to the floor covered in his own blood. Not knowing where to go next, Owen takes his family and they go to see his dad, but they are all very scared. Kelly's partner is still alive, but that's only because they need him to help them find the others. Owen goes on the rooftop to think clearly, but his wife sneaks up behind him and he almost kicks her in the head. He's on edge ever since the attack, but they remember they left Reggie behind with those ninjas. His father comes to bring some coffee, but he panics again and nearly kicks him in the head. He really needs to relax or get some sleep. While the ninjas were distracted, Reggie managed to escape and he took his master's body with him. They chase after him, when out of nowhere, ninjas belonging to the Scorched Earth clan come to Reggie's defense. The assassins need to deal with them and stop Reggie before he escapes, because if they go home empty-handed, Cho Fung will kill them. They dealt with the ninjas, but failed to catch Reggie, and they are now on a plane heading back home, empty-handed. The fourth member, who was stabbed during the fight, survived, even though the ninja sword is still in her abdomen. Owen's dad cooks breakfast, but he makes a joke which pushes Haley over the edge. She screams at him, saying they've lived through hell and they saw people killed right in front of them. She eventually calms down and gives her grandpa a hug, who completely understands and says he shouldn't be making stupid jokes. Apparently Owen was adopted when he was just a baby, so when he turned 18, he went to the Order of the Flaming Fist Temple to search for his biological parents, even though his adopted dad advised against it. Everything is happening because of his past, but it's not his fault. He was trying to teach his kids how to defend themselves, but he never thought they would be attacked like that. Starting this moment, no more secrets between the parents and the children. They're not babies after all. Waylon survived and was taken to the hospital by Reggie, but the doctors don't understand how. He was stabbed through the heart. The wound is right there, but the heart is intact. It's almost as if it moved. The old man wakes up and tells Reggie he trained his diaphragm. That's how he was able to move his heart and avoid getting killed. He promised to teach him one day, but first they need to find Owen and his family before their enemies do. He eventually recovers and leaves the hospital, but Owen is shocked to see that he's still alive. The ninjas return back to the Order of the Flaming Fist Temple, but Cho Fung gives them one hell of a beating for failing their mission. He claims that Wei Lun is not dead because they were never a match for him. And now, Owen, the firepower, is in the hands of the Scorched Earth clan, and they will be coming here. Ma Guang comes to the temple and sees the other ninjas laying unconscious on the ground and wonders who they are. His master attacks him with knives, saying he should have stayed in his bed and not come looking for trouble. He grabs him by the clothes and throws him as hard as he can against the rocks. He should have never let Wei Lun corrupt as many of them. If Ma Guang only knew what's going on, he'd gladly join him, but there's no chance of that happening now. He also promises to bury him next to Ling Zan, but Ma Guang picks up his giant bat and hits him as hard as he can, managing to slam him against the rocks. Cho Fung asks his people to go after him, but the other ninjas are still recovering from his beating. Owen goes to speak to his business partner Larry and tells him about his past. He wants him to take care of the business because he's going somewhere for a while. He told him the truth because he needs to look out for some weird stuff just in case people come poking around. The ninja who was stabbed is following Owen from the shadows but decides to keep her distance. Owen and his family decide to leave, but he's taking the kids because it's the only way he can keep them safe. Kelly says goodbye to Reggie and thanks him for being a secret kung fu spy, keeping watch over her all this time, even though it's kinda creepy but nice. The family boards a plane and heads towards the Scorched Earth clan's compound. Waylon says he's gonna like it there because it's like an island resort, but Owen is more worried about their leader, Chen Zul. Owen goes back to his seat, but he gets attacked by the ninja with the sword. Suddenly her eyes start glowing green and she claims she stared into the abyss and has returned from the darkness with forbidden knowledge only known to her kind. She's the serpent's omen, and if this world is to evolve to its next level, the firepower must be destroyed. Owen kinda panics and doesn't know what to do, so he opens the airplane door, which sucks both of them outside. They begin free-falling towards the ground, but the ninja still attacks him with her sword. He uses a fireball to hit her, which pushes them to opposite sides, but she's relentless. She comes at him a second time, so he shoots her again, but this time her body transforms into many snakes. He's happy and says that snakes can't fly, but he can't either, and realizes he's free-falling towards the ground. Luckily, he has an ace up his sleeve and he creates a power blast from his hands, which slows him down enough for him to survive the fall. In the morning, he wakes up in a strange bed and Chen Zul, the leader of the Scorched Earth clan, comes to greet him. Apparently, Ling Zan, the woman from Owen's past, used to be his daughter and he knows how close they used to be. This place is amazing. A beautiful tropical island in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by water on all sides, the perfect fortress. Chen Zul is very proud of the community they've been able to build here, even though the last time they met it was on much different terms. His family is all safe and sound, but Kelly is kinda pissed with him. He literally opened the airplane door and jumped off, but when he saw that his attacker's eyes were glowing with energy, he thought she could bring the whole plane down with a bolt of lightning. His wife doesn't really believe him, but why is it so hard to believe she could shoot lightning when he can literally throw fireballs? Later, he is given a special ninja suit, which fits like a glove because they measured him while he was sleeping. Suddenly, Ma Guang arrives on the shores, but he is greeted by trained ninjas. Owen comes to greet him and welcomes him to the party, but Ma Guang is shocked to see him here. Chen Zul is talking to someone, saying that everything is falling into place and she should go see for herself, but she can't do that because this person is Ling Zan, and even though she's still alive, she wants to keep it a secret for now. Owen talks in private to his friend, and Ma Guang apologizes for not believing him sooner. He should have investigated Ling Zan's death the moment Wei Lun left them, but he just accepted Cho Feng's story. All of that is ancient history now, and Owen is just happy that he's here now. Next, Owen goes to his room and talks to his wife, but keeps blaming himself for everything that's happening to his family. Kelly says he shouldn't, because she knows about his past and all of this is part of him. She'll gladly ride this out to the end. They start kissing and slowly make their way to the bed, while also taking their clothes off, while Ling Zan is watching them from the shadows, kinda wishing she was in Kelly's shoes. In the morning, the kids have breakfast, and Doug says that ninja pancakes are the best. Wei Lun shows up and says he is pleased they are enjoying themselves, but now they must pay for their room. The fee is one husband, slightly used. Nobody is impressed with his joke, and Owen says the old man has a peculiar sense of humor. The first step in becoming a member of the Scorched Earth clan is getting a new tattoo. But first, Chen Zul wants to introduce him to his crew. Shishu is the lead archer from their previous battles. Jian is the leader of the sword battalion. Zhanxi is the weapons maker. She's as good at using them as she is at making them. Shu is their lead tactician. This is her battle plan. And of course, he's already met Wei Lun, the old man with a peculiar sense of humor. They want to attack the Order of the Flaming Fist, but they will be expecting them, so they won't have the element of surprise. On top of that, in recent years, Cho Feng has brought countless more students, so their numbers far exceed theirs. But luckily, they have a secret weapon. They have Owen Johnson. Kelly can't believe this is their life now. A few days ago, she was worrying about studying for the detective exam. But if they win this place and take control of the temple, this will all be over and they'll be able to go back home. But what is Haley supposed to tell Tyler? That it was just a prank and those weirdos weren't trying to kill them? Owen calms his family down and they have a group hug, one last reunion before the battle. Chen Zul wants his daughter to talk to Owen, but she can't right now. It's been too long and their paths are too far apart. She wants to spare him this pain, so she uses a helmet to disguise her identity. Wei Lun says that Owen's biological parents tried to tell him the truth about the temple and the Scorched Earth clan, and if they had succeeded, this conflict would be long over. But Cho Feng killed them and then he killed Ling Zan. They need to take this monster down. Cho Feng prays to his master, Master Shaw, and says he could use his help in the upcoming battle. He has rested long enough. His team of ninja assassins shows up, and they're gonna be his front line. The Scorched Earth clan is using zeppelins to approach the enemy temple, but the monks use arrows and fireballs to try and take them down. Those things are big and hard to maneuver, so they take a direct hit and catch fire. Many ninjas are taken out by burning arrows as well, and Owen gives the order to abandon ship because this thing is going down. One of the ships was destroyed and Owen is free falling. But Wei Lun comes to his rescue and grabs onto him. But the catapults are still active and trying to take down the second zeppelin, so Owen destroys them with fireballs. Ma Guang is fighting his former colleagues, saying they know him. They used to train together, but something changed. They are on the wrong side. They were always on the wrong side. Master Chen Zhu is doing a great job and dealing with opponents as if they are nothing, but so is Cho Feng. He turns his attention to Master Wei Lun and manages to bring him down using the battle axe. Owen falls down and is surrounded by the ninjas who tried to kill him back home. He doesn't have to fight alone though, because Ling Zan throws him a sword even though he doesn't know it's her. The battle between the old and the new masters is underway, but Cho Feng is younger and a lot bigger. Luckily, Chen Zhu comes to the old man's rescue and says this fight is done. It's only a matter of time now, the dragon will be destroyed. Ma Guang climbs on top of the temple and calls out to his brothers and sisters asking them to stop fighting. He says they've been lied to. This temple wasn't built to imprison the dragon, but to protect it. They don't fight to free the dragon, they fight to destroy it. They must know he is telling the truth, especially since he is fighting alongside Master Wei Lun, so everyone turns on Cho Feng and his ninja assassins. The fight continues, but Ling Zan's helmet is damaged, so she takes it off. Owen sees that she's still alive and doesn't know how to feel about it. Cho Feng is getting his ass handed to him by two masters and even his students have turned against him. But he doesn't need them. Instead, he bows to Master Shaw and asks him to rise and come to his aid. But Master Shaw is nothing but an old statue and nothing happens. So Cho Feng runs towards the temple to awaken the dragon himself. He opens the doors and goes inside, but there is nothing but a fountain in the middle. He performs an incantation, trying to awaken the dragon, but nothing happens again. He jumps into the fountain, trying to see if there's something underneath, but Owen and the master jump after him. There's a giant cave beneath the temple, and Cho Feng climbs on top of a sandhill. He was deceived because the dragon isn't here, and Wei Lun feels sorry because he lost his way for nothing. He puts up one final fight, but he gets blown away by Owen and his master. Cho Feng doesn't understand how any of this is possible. Master Shaw, the dragon, none of it is real. It's all been a lie, all of it. He is taken prisoner and brought outside, where the fighting has finally stopped, and the monks chant Master Wei Lun's name. Chen Zhu congratulates the old man on having his temple back and promises to attack less frequently in the future. Ling Zan goes somewhere where she can be alone and at peace, but Owen knows where to find her. When she met Owen, she was working for the Scorched clan, trying to get him on their side, but Chofeng found out and tried to kill her. She faked her death by drinking a poison which made it look like she was dead, but it was only a trick. The body they burned wasn't hers, and Owen even spread her ashes beneath that tree right where she's standing. He wonders if what they had was ever real, but she chooses not to answer and says he's happily married now with 2 wonderful children and she's happy for him. Meanwhile, at the Scorched clan compound, Kelly is training her 2 children to become better fighters, when out of nowhere someone interrupts them. It's one of Chofeng's assassins, the same one who was stabbed to death and was thrown off the plane with Owen. Kelly takes out her gun and shoots her, but her body transforms into snakes which creeps everyone out. Owen eventually returns, but none of them know how any of this is even possible. They've never seen anything like this. A person's body made entirely out of deadly snakes. But nonetheless, Wei Lun wants them to stay focused and always be ready. The family returns home and Reggie is waiting for them. He took care of it all. He covered for Kelly at work, and the schools have been notified of the family emergency and their sudden travel. Kelly is scared and doesn't know if their life will ever be back to normal, but Owen reassures her, saying things are going to be even better than before. Whatever happens, they'll be ready for it. Wei Lun talks to Master Shaw's statue and says that firepower is rediscovered, his disciples are in chains, and he's just a myth, a lifeless stone, but after leaving, a snake climbs on the rocks and wraps itself around the legs. Shu asks Lingzan what happened when she talked to Owen, and she says she pushed him away. He has a wonderful life now and she's happy for him. She couldn't live with herself if she got in the way of that. Haley had a nightmare where she was attacked by hundreds of snakes. They were all over her, but her father comforts her and says they're all gone now. After returning back home, the family took the dog back, but Owen's father misses having him around. Kelly and Reggie go back to work on their first official mission since she came back. The kids go back to school and Haley talks to Tyler, who says that nobody believed his story. They all thought he was telling a joke, and he got grounded because of it. He doesn't want to spend time with her and says that her family scares him. A bunch of bullies pick on Doug and push him against the locker rooms, but he's been training in martial arts and wants to show them a thing or two. Owen goes back to work at the antique shop and Larry is shocked to see him. He didn't even get a call that he was back home. Ma Guang talks to Chofeng and says he was wrong to ignore all those red flags about him. He thought he was just struggling to hold the clan together, but it was more than that. After leaving, the snake from before slithers through the cracks in the walls and enters the cell. Doug got into a fight with the bullies and beat them easily, but his father is angry with him, saying they're only supposed to use martial arts to defend themselves. But that's what he did. They attacked him. But still, he's not supposed to be excited about fighting. A guy wielding a shotgun breaks inside a shop and wants to rob the place, but he runs into Kelly and Reggie. The 2 cops take him out easily with a pair of kicks to the head, and they decide to call themselves Kung Fu Cops. The kids want to be just like their father and ask him to teach them how to shoot fireballs. He doesn't know if he can teach them this. He's the first guy to do it in over 1,000 years, and even Master Wei Lun spent his entire life trying. Haley is able to conjure a fireball, but she panics and doesn't know what to do with it, so she throws it towards the house. They were able to put out the fire before the house burned down, and Kelly is impressed with her daughter. The snake that entered Chofeng's cell bites him on the neck, which makes his eyes glow yellow, just like what happened to the female ninja. Haley continues her training and wants to do another fireball, but she can't seem to do it, no matter how hard she tries. Her father comforts her, saying the second time was hard for him too. It's hard to harness all the emotion and feeling required and then focus it. He shows her a small demonstration, but while they are talking, he thinks he sees someone in the shadows. Chofeng was bitten by the snake, which has now attached itself to him and is controlling him. He is trying to escape, claiming they don't have any right to imprison him. He doesn't answer to them. They are the serpent's omen, and they answer to a higher power. Kelly asks her husband if he's happy. She never saw so much of his former life before, it's so big, and she worries that their life here can be so small. That insanity was barely 3 years of his life. Living on a mountain seems cool and all, but it was tough and painful. While they are talking, someone is definitely watching them from the shadows, enjoying the show. The next day, Haley is attacked in her room by tens of snakes and she freaks out. Her mother wraps her in a blanket and they both jump through the window, escaping outside. The snakes take the shape of the ninja assassin from the plane, and she claims she's the serpent's omen. Haley wields the firepower, and her flame will be extinguished. Luckily, the person from the shadows is actually Ling Zan. He's been keeping an eye on their family and comes to help. She stabs the assassin, but her body transforms into green smoke and she disappears. Owen returns back home and doesn't understand why his ex-girlfriend is standing in his backyard, but Kelly had no idea she was even alive. He never told her. Meanwhile, at the Scorched clan compound, we see that Chen Zhu was also attacked by a snake, which managed to attach itself to him. One student tries to escape the island, but it's too late. Everyone is already infected and controlled by snakes. His master corners him and says it's pointless to resist. As the awakening nears, their power grows. Kelly talks to her husband in private and says she was always jealous of his previous life and always wondered if his ex-girlfriend would be better than her. She knows that he loves her and that he loves his kids without a shadow of a doubt, but she doesn't understand why he never told her that Lingzan was alive. He claims he didn't do it because he was embarrassed. The whole time they were together, she was on a mission, trying to get him to join the Scorched Earth clan, and what they had together was never even real. Lingzan claims that her tattoo represents the fire power, which is the only thing that can kill the dragon. The prophecy states that only a scorched earth is safe from the dragon. A scorched earth is one protected by the fire power. When all have the fire power, there will be nowhere for the dragon to hide, and all this will finally be over. She suspected they would be in danger, so she came to warn them, just in time it seems. A guy from her clan calls her, saying he's been trying to reach the island but nobody's answering. The guy arrives on the docks, but the island is full of snakes who come at him, so the call ends abruptly. Owen calls his master at the temple, but he's not picking up either. There's definitely something going on. They drop the kids off at the grandparents, but the grandfather is happier to see the dog than the kids. Lingzan has a private jet and they plan to use it to go back to the island, but Kelly is not leaving her husband alone for 1 second. Meanwhile, at the temple, Wei Lun is attacked by a snake, but he barely dodges the attack. The snake then goes after Ma Guang, who isn't as agile or fast as the old man, and gets bitten. Luckily, his master acts quick and he manages to bite off the snake's head. Suddenly, they see a big zeppelin in the sky and they think the Scorched clan has come to attack them once again. The kids play with the dog in the yard, but Doug says he already misses his parents. Haley gives him a hug and tries to comfort him when the snake lady attacks them again. Reggie was keeping an eye on them the entire time and he comes to their rescue. Wei Lun knows that something is wrong and wants to get to the zeppelin before it reaches the temple. He asks one of his students to shoot him into the air using a catapult, and it works. He breaks inside and deals with a couple of ninjas who are no match for him, but Chen Zhu is already being controlled by a snake and his eyes are glowing green. Owen and the two women arrive on the Scorched Island, but there's nobody here and the place looks abandoned. Wei Lun is outnumbered, so he jumps from the zeppelin, but Chen Zhu is after him. They both hit the ground safely, but the zeppelin crashes into the mountain, causing a giant fire that engulfs the temple. Reggie is no match for the snake lady and he's barely able to hold her back, but Haley and her grandfather come to help. None of them are any match for her and she wants to end the old man, saying he's not important. The stress and the emotions boil up and Haley is able to conjure another fireball, which destroys the snake lady's body. They are safe, but barely, and Reggie wants them to go somewhere else because it's not safe here anymore. The temple is overrun by infected students and Cho Feng escapes his prison alongside his assassin ninjas. Chen Zhu pins the master to the ground and asks him to stop struggling and rejoice, claiming they have lain dormant for centuries, but the time of the serpent is at hand and the entire world will learn to fear them. He gets a little too close to him, so the old man bites the head off the snake once again, which frees Chen Zhu from its control. The temple is being destroyed, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Their enemies possess power beyond their comprehension. Owen and the others take the plane and head towards the temple, but this time they parachute straight from the sky. Cho Feng is now free and he's fighting two masters at once. Things are looking bad all around. Owen joins the fight, but while everyone is busy fighting their own battles, the snakes climb on top of Master Shaw's statue and cover him entirely. The statue begins glowing abnormally and something else happens. The statue comes alive in the form of Master Shaw himself, who asks everyone to bow to the serpent's will. This guy looks meaner and scarier than anyone they've ever faced before, and Wei Lun wants to wait and observe until a weakness presents itself. Master Shaw speaks to Cho Feng and recognizes that he was the one in charge of guarding his temple. He was tasked with killing anyone who controls the fire power, but there's one who is alive. Master Shaw kills him by making him swallow an entire snake, claiming there's more than one fire power out there, and he failed to prepare the world for their coming. The Order of the Flaming Fist attacks him at once, but Ma Guang and Wei Lun get bitten by snakes and turned into puppets. One snake goes after Kelly, but Lingzan tries to save her and gets bitten instead. Owen comes to his wife's rescue and kicks her in the abdomen, but they need to get out of here. Every monk and master is turned by this point and they don't have anywhere to run. They're literally surrounded. The snake lady says that Owen wields the firepower, but the old man laughs in his face, so he proves it. Owen fires a powerful fireball towards him, but the old man just stands unbothered. He catches the full brunt of the blow and then redirects it back towards Owen, covering him and his wife in flames. Master Shaw claims he knows nothing of his power, he's not prepared for what comes next, so he's not worth his time, and then asks his puppets to kill them. They are surrounded from all sides, but Owen uses a fireball to make a path through the pile of ninjas. Master Shaw goes into the temple and performs an incantation to summon the dragon, calling it to rise. The ground begins to shake and a powerful energy erupts from the ground, destroying the temple. The explosion is so powerful that it catches Owen and his wife, who are trying to escape. They don't know what's going on, but things keep getting worse by the second. Suddenly, Reggie and the two children come up the stairs trying to get to the temple, but they are shocked by what they see. The parents freak out because they don't understand why Reggie brought the kids here, but they were getting constantly attacked, and this is the only place he thought of that was safe. But the entire temple lays in ruins now, and the students are being controlled by snakes. Does any of this look safe to him? Suddenly, the ground begins to shake, and there's a powerful earthquake as something escapes from within. The crew isn't safe, so they start running down the mountain, but the snow is thick and getting down isn't easy. As if this wasn't bad enough, Wei Lun attacks them, kicking Owen in the face, but Haley grabs the snake that was controlling him and burns it alive, freeing him. The old man apologizes for having failed miserably. He thought he was stronger than this. How could he have let this happen? Someone else attacks them. This time it's Chen Zhu, the master of the Scorched Earth clan, but he didn't come alone. He brought his daughter with him, who is also being controlled by a snake. Owen gets pinned to the ground, but he finally has enough and decides to unleash his full power. He hits her with a powerful fireball which is strong enough to burn her snake. The ground begins to shake again, but this time even more powerfully, which sends a giant rock hurling towards them. Wei Lun proves why he's the master, and he destroys the rock with a single punch. Doug remarks that he saw something, possibly a giant dragon emerging from the ground, but they can't afford to waste precious time talking about it. They continue the journey down the mountain, but this place is crawling with Chofeng's assassins. The tremors eventually stop, but the dragon is real and he wraps himself around the entire mountain. Master Sha controls him and claims they are free at last. The new dawn brings with it a new order. The age of the great serpent begins. The dragon is absolutely massive, as big as the entire mountain, and the crew doesn't have a clue how to stop him. Master Sha, the dragon, all of it is real. And Wei Lun was beginning to feel foolish after believing in these things for so long, but now he wishes he had been wrong. The dragon emerged from a fire pit of molten lava and decides to leave the mountain, flying towards an unknown destination. Everyone is freaking out, and Doug has it the worst, but he needs to calm down because he's not the only one. They are definitely not safe on this mountain, and they need to get going, but something is troubling Haley. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong, Master Sean is walking the busy streets of a food market when he sees a man trying to steal a fish. He stops the guy by smacking him over the head with his sword, but the guy doesn't know who he's messing with. Suddenly, the dragon arrives and crashes straight into the city, destroying an entire city block and leveling buildings. Everyone sees what's going on, and the dragon goes viral, trending on every social media app in the world. Haley says she couldn't wait to see the Order of the Flaming Fist Temple. She was so happy to come to the mountain and experience what her father felt when he first came here. But now the temple is destroyed and they are being hunted. She's scared, but her father comforts her and she eventually builds the courage to keep going. They are ambushed by the mind-controlled ninjas who were waiting for them to come out. Owen fights Chen Zhu one-on-one, but he gets too close and a snake bites him on the neck, infecting him just like the others. He's being mind-controlled and he goes after his family, starting with Haley, because she can control fire as well. Kelly tries to help, but she's no match for her husband, who slams her against the ground. The two children attack their father together, Haley using a blue flame and Doug using a regular fireball. For the first time in his life, the snake is destroyed and Owen is freed from its control. But he saw what they are capable of, what they want, and it's not something they can do on their own. They're going to need help, lots of it. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong, the dragon is going on a rampage, destroying everything in its path, but the military is deployed to take him down. A couple of fighter jets fire missiles towards him, but even though they cause a powerful explosion, his skin is impenetrable and the dragon is unharmed. Master Shaw wants him to show them what they're capable of, and the fighter jets get taken out with ease. One pilot manages to eject himself, but he gets eaten alive and dies a gruesome death. Only one jet manages to escape, but Shaw wants them to live and tell everyone what happened here. The dragon is unbeatable and he gives a powerful roar, which puts fear into everyone's hearts who are still alive and hiding within the city. Something happened to the students that were being controlled by snakes. There was a battle, and some of them are free now, but they've also lost people close to them. And Jin asks Kanabo what's the point in fighting. Lingzan was also freed, but Owen is a little too happy to see her and his wife gives him the look. They're going to have to find and free everyone left on this mountain and hope they're willing to join forces because defeating the dragon won't be easy. The Chinese leader shows up and demands to speak to Shaw, asking what his demands are. The old master swiftly takes out his bodyguards and then traps him in snakes, claiming he only wants his unwavering subservience. He wonders if they remember the power of the great serpent, if they've been subconsciously preparing for this day, the day they defend the people against them, but they have not, and the Chinese leader bows down to his new master, showing Shaw a familiar posture of surrender. Owen and his people have managed to free all of the remaining students from both sides, and Chen Zhu is thankful for his help, saying he's earned his loyalty and his resources are at his disposal. Wei Lun is confident they have enough people to build an army, but Owen isn't so sure they have what it takes. Not yet. After his encounter with the Chinese leader, Master Shaw feels disgusted with what passes as a leader these days. But Master Shun confronts him, saying he doesn't stand a chance against the dragon, but him he can defeat. Shaw attacks him with his snakes, but even though Master Shun is old, he is still as fast and agile as if he were young again. Shaw wants to hit him with a fireball, but Shun dodges it with ease and even manages to kick him in the back of the head. Shaw grabs him by the leg and then slams him against the ground. He wants to kill him with a swift blow, but Shun blocks the hit with his sword. Another fireball comes directly at him, but he cuts it in half with his amazing sword, which pisses off Master Shaw. Shun throws his sword towards him. It misses its target. However, the sword is tied to a string and he pulls it back, managing to cut Shaw's face and cause him to bleed. The old master is impressed. He's astonished that Master Shun managed to draw blood before he could land the final blow. But Master Shun realizes he's outclassed and doesn't wish to die here today, so he runs away. Luckily, this place is in ruins and he easily escapes through the ruins, leaving Shaw to wonder who he was. Chunzul brought everyone back to his island to regroup and form a plan of attack, and Kelly calls her in-laws. They are building an army to fight the dragon, but Owen's father thinks they are crazy for even thinking about it. It's a giant dragon after all. Chunzul talks to his daughter and says that if they combine the might of the Scorched Earth clan and the Temple of the Flaming Fist, along with the Bearer of the Fire Power and all the great masters of the world, they might stand a chance against the dragon. Ling Zan wonders if Owen knows the truth about Wei Lun, but we don't know what exactly she means by that. Owen tries to recruit Master Ping in their fight against the dragon, but the old master wants him to demonstrate a fireball. Owen does it and Master Ping is impressed. She's never seen someone able to control the firepower before. Apparently, the dragon is causing diplomatic tensions with Russia to the north and the United States to the south, who have sent their navy off the Shanghai coast. This dragon is literally instigating a world war. Master Shaw wants him to prove his power once again and asks him to attack the US fleet. He manages to destroy it in mere seconds, leaving nothing but fire and destruction in its path. Owen and Master Wei Lun have gone to their next destination, trying to recruit another master, Master Huang. But they've come too late because Huang has already been corrupted and is being controlled by a snake. The master asks Owen if he misses them. Now that they are no longer in his head, does it get lonely without their whisper to soothe him in these dark times? He implores him to find a nice quiet corner of this world and make a home there. His firepower is weak and he doesn't stand a chance of defeating them. The three of them begin fighting, and Owen tries to hit him with fireballs, but the old guy is kinda fast. His fire is enough to burn the snake and free him, but it's no use if he can't even land a hit. Suddenly, someone throws a sword towards the master which cuts the snake's head, freeing him from the control. It was Master Shun, the old guy who fought Master Shaw earlier, but he didn't come alone. He recruited other masters to join the army against the dragon, but he already did a better job than Owen and Wei Lun. Apparently he just used a phone to call everybody, while the two of them have been traveling from city to city, which takes a lot of time. Master Huang doesn't know much about what is happening. From what he knows, they don't have time to stand around to get to know one another. There is a fight ahead, and he wants them to start moving. Everyone is taken to the Scorched Earth Clan's island, where Chunzul greets them. Owen wants to attack the dragon tomorrow, because tonight he is spending time with his wife and kids. Kelly wants him to use his firepower and kill the dragon so they can go back home and live happily ever after. Even though his kids can shoot fireballs, they are much too young to join the war, and he wants them to stay here with their mother. Owen knows he might not be coming back from this, and wants his kids to be the last line of defense if that happens. The Johnsons hug it out, because tomorrow their father goes to war, and he might not be coming back. The attack begins, but Master Shaw is ready and sees them approaching in zeppelins. The dragon flies towards them to intercept, but they take him out with a giant explosion which stuns it for now. The ninjas begin jumping from the zeppelins and begin their attack, flying towards the dragon which is momentarily stunned. The dragon recovers and comes at them with full force, smashing straight into the ninjas and taking them out of the sky. Everyone begins free falling towards the ground, but Owen manages to grab onto him. Next, it's the archer's turn to have a go at him, but the arrows don't even scratch the skin. Owen loses his balance and begins free falling as well, but Ling Zan manages to catch him. The dragon is pissed and flies straight into the zeppelin which was filled with archers, destroying it completely and killing everyone on board. Meanwhile, on the ground, the masters attack Master Shaw together, who laughs in their faces. Their moves are all similar. It's enough to study one of them, and he knows what everyone is capable of. That's because these masters have taught each other martial arts, but they mostly passed down old knowledge without any innovation. There is no more discovery in the martial arts, it seems. Shaw kills Master Huang by cutting off his head, using the string attached to Master Shun's sword. Ling Zan drops Owen on top of the dragon once again, and he uses a powerful fireball to try and do some damage, but he doesn't even land a scratch. His skin is impenetrable. Shaw is fighting multiple masters on the ground and he's better than all of them combined, but they are relentless. The dragon flies away and Master Wei Lun is left behind, claiming it's not their fight anymore, it's Owen's. The dragon tries to eat him alive, but when he opens his mouth, Owen shoots him with a powerful fireball. For the first time since the war began, this caused some damage and the dragon is injured. He falls on the ground and goes unconscious, but Owen is also badly injured, and to make things worse, Master Shaw wants to fight him, claiming this isn't over. He comes at him full force with a powerful fireball of his own, but Owen blocks it at the last second. The discharge of energy is so big that it sends him flying into the rubble below. Shaw says it's unwise to resist. He wants to offer him a quick death, but Owen tries his patience by dodging the attacks. The discharge of energy continues and Master Shaw is relentless, but so is his opponent. Unlike him, Owen fights for a noble cause. He fights to keep his family safe and he can't stop thinking about them, just as Shaw squeezes the life out of his body. This forces Owen to discover a new power and he punches him so hard that the old man is sent flying. Owen mastered the flaming fist technique, which lights his hands on fire, causing him to do a lot more damage than before. He doesn't know what's happening, but he kind of likes having so much power in his hands. Master Ping was greatly injured in the battle, but Wei Lun rushes to save her. Chunzul brings helicopters and he takes injured people from the ground and takes them to safety. The fight continues and Master Shaw is far from being defeated. He's mastered many combat techniques and isn't impressed with Owen, saying he has raw talent but without the skill to back it up, and he's way in over his head. Being cocky never helped anyone, and the old man gets punched so hard that he's sent into the ground. Owen grabs him by the throat and prepares to deliver the final blow, but something is wrong. The ground begins to shake as the dragon recovers from his injuries and comes to his master's aid. He goes straight for Owen, but Owen manages to dodge his attacks. Wei Lun comes to help him, but Owen is badly injured and he's in no shape to keep fighting. They need to escape while the dragon is still dazed. Master Shaw also recovers and manages to free himself from beneath the rubble. Owen finally agrees to give up and the two guys retreat to one of the helicopters, while Shaw claims victory, claiming that their firepower poses no threat to him and the dragon. Owen says that he alone wasn't enough, he wasn't powerful enough, and they need more people, many more like him. If only Cho Feng had not killed his parents. But Wei Lun has been keeping a secret from him and he decides to tell the truth, that he's the one who killed his parents. Everyone goes back to the island, but Owen and his master have some unfinished business to take care of. Wei Lun killed his parents and they're about to fight, but Owen changes his mind and just wants to talk. Doug spies on them, but his mother catches him and asks him to get back to his room. Ling Zan knew this secret, but she never told Owen because he loved his master very much, and she could never bring herself to tell him. The dragon eventually recovers from his injuries and so does Master Shaw, who claims this world has grown in their absence and many people on the other side of the planet feel safe, so he wants to change that. He takes the dragon and they both leave towards an unknown destination. Wei Lun tries to explain why he killed Owen's parents, saying he always believed the dragon was real and he would have done anything to prevent the release of the dragon. He and Cho Feng once took over the temple, and they were all that stood between the world and total annihilation. Owen's parents were Scorched Earth clan members and they were trying to release the dragon, so he hunted them down to try and stop them, not to kill them. He found them, but they were actually trying to keep their son safe, while he was trying to save the world, so they fought to the death. He was lied to by Cho Feng and he never knew the truth about the Temple of the Flaming Fist, but he feels extremely sorry for killing them. Master Shaw takes the dragon all the way to Chicago, on the other side of the world, but his intentions are not noble. He uses him to splash into the water, which causes a giant tsunami wave that drowns the entire city in water. Owen gives a big speech and says he is thankful that his children have the firepower in them, but it's not enough. He wants all of them to train and strive to discover their own firepower. The attack on Chicago was devastating. Most of the city is drowned in water and everything else is on fire. The military shows up and tries to fight him, but they are no match. Nothing gets through his tough skin. Haley is using her blue fireballs to fight against her brother, but they don't take the training seriously and Owen gets angry with them. He says that people are dying by the thousands and they are their best hope right now, so he wants them to stop being children, even though they are children. Wei Lun says that he chose a solitary life devoted to discovering the firepower at all costs, but after seeing how Owen trained with his family today, he realized that maybe love is the key to unlocking the firepower. Maybe that's why he could never harness this power his entire life, because he hadn't built a family for himself. The old man wants to know what he needs to do to make things right between them. But if they're fortunate enough to survive this, Owen never wants to see him again. He'll never forgive him for killing his parents. This breaks the old man's heart, but in that exact moment, he's able to master the firepower and he conjures a fireball for the first time in his life. A bunch of kids from Haley's school are talking about the dragon who attacked Chicago, But since it's not happening where they live, life is continuing as usual. Tyler says that Haley and her family are at the center of this. He saw their dad shoot fireballs out of his hands and kill some evil lady with a sword, but the other kids don't believe him and think he's joking. The training continues and Owen wants his kids to give him everything they've got. Even though Doug's fireballs are smaller, they are more condensed and pack a lot of punch. Wei Lun is enjoying his newfound power and shooting fireballs left and right. He trains with the other masters, asking them to hit him with fireballs as well, saying it takes but the tiniest effort to conjure. Ma Guang remarks that he's not humble at all, especially for someone who tried his entire life to conjure a fireball and has easily forgotten the melted stone. He spent years at the melted stone to no avail, and now all of a sudden he's an expert looking down on the rest of them. The old man goes to train with the kids, but Doug isn't planning on going easy on him. Reggie and Ling Zan are having a break, but even though they've spent the past couple of weeks training together, they've never introduced themselves. Kelly is worried about the giant dragon ravaging Chicago while the whole world is holding its breath, waiting to see what it does next. So far, only a handful of them have the power to conjure fireballs, and that small number includes her children, and she can't even join them in battle because she feels useless. Ma Guang says he's had enough. He's done with training. He was the star student at the temple before Owen came along. He was training here from birth and he still hasn't mastered the firepower by now, and he's certain he never will. Owen reassures him that it doesn't work that way. Wei Lun trained his entire life, and he was only just able to conjure one himself. Master Shaw spends his time in Chicago among the ruins, together with the resting dragon. A United States general greets him and admits defeat, but he wonders if he has a list of demands. But Shaw doesn't want anything except for them to bow to their new ruler. Kelly is pissed and trains alone, trying to see if she can awaken the firepower. Owen tells Ma Guang he needs to focus on his emotions, loss, pain, fear, and use them, but it's not easy. Suddenly, someone shoots a giant fireball towards them and nearly catches Owen in the blast. Everyone is in shock, but it's not Ma Guang. It was Kelly, who didn't know her fireball was going to be gigantic. Her husband thinks it's impressive, but he wants her to do it again. He wants her to prove to him she can do it again. She does, and the two begin fighting with fire, but Owen dodges all of her attacks. The fight ends with them hugging each other and kissing passionately in front of the other students. They have one more person with the firepower now, but Owen wants everyone to continue training because the whole world cowers in the shadow of a seemingly unstoppable dragon. It's time to redouble their efforts. Master Shaw grabs one of the soldiers and looks into his eyes, remembering what it used to feel like when he was still human. He used to love someone, but thankfully he grew beyond it. You could say he came to his senses because you cannot rule the world with love. You can only rule the world with fear. Ma Guang is training as hard as he can to master the firepower, but he's forcing it and it's not going to happen that way. It's more emotional than physical. He needs to draw on his emotions for it to work. That's what he's learned. Even though Ma Guang doesn't have a family to love him, Owen loves him very much and considers him like a brother. Kelly trains with her two children and says they should be thinking of ways they can use fireballs to enhance the moves they already know. She channels the energy into the ground, which propels her towards her children, kicking them as hard as she can. Master Wei Lun calls her a bully and attacks her, but Owen gets involved and defends his wife. The entire scene turns into a friendly fight between family, but Chunzul comes with news from America and it's not good. Master Shaw has infected most of the soldiers and is going around infecting everyone they can find and turning them into one of them. They're expanding the lands they hold and the army they command. If this goes on too long, they won't be enough to face them, as they're growing too powerful. Owen holds a meeting and says that even though they still need a lot of training, it's clear now that it is no longer possible. They need to attack now before it's too late. Doug sends a letter to his grandpa and tells him about their fight against the dragon. The dragon attacked their plane, but he and his dad jumped off and used the firepower to heat the air beneath them and fly. They've survived and made their way to Chicago, but they were stopped in Pittsburgh by a whole group of people controlled by snakes. Luckily, they've gotten pretty good at freeing them, especially his dad, who knows just the right size of fireball that doesn't hurt them too much. They met up with the army and the air force and whatever other kinds of soldiers there are. They joined forces, and it's just been crazy as they rush from battle to battle. Luckily, even in times of war, there are people collecting mail from soldiers, and that's how he's able to send letters back to his grandfather back home. They fought the dragon multiple times, but it was too strong and they didn't stand a chance. There were multiple people killed, and Haley is scared. She's crying all the time. They were attacked after the battle in Chicago ended, and Owen went head-to-head against Master Shaw in a brutal confrontation. He was hurt, but his family came through and they all attacked Master Shaw together, finally being able to defeat him. They did the same thing against the dragon. They poured all of their energies together and formed a giant fireball, which they shot into the dragon's mouth. The giant dragon was finally defeated and he fell into the rubble and went unconscious. There's still so much work to be done. They're going to help with the rebuilding and recovery effort in any way they can, but he also has some great news. They're coming home to see him. Unfortunately, Doug's grandfather was killed during one of the attacks and his body lies burnt underneath the rubble of his home. Luckily, Owen's mother is still alive. They evacuated the whole area when those snake people came near. She was at the grocery store. It all happened so fast. She looked for him all last night. She thought they would have rescued him too, but he didn't make it. The dragon is still unconscious in the rubble and the military has formed a perimeter around him, trying to study him. Out of nowhere, the dragon wakes up and he emerges from the rubble, destroying and killing everyone around him. At least Master Shaw was captured and he's now a prisoner tied in chains. He says that no prison can hold him and he manages to free himself, while also throwing tens of snakes towards Owen and his family. The snakes are easily dealt with, but Master Shaw is free from their control and he changes back into the old man he used to be. He claims the dragon cannot be killed, only contained. It's an elemental force in this world, no less essential to their lives than water. It is weakened now, but not enough. It will retreat to heal and recover, only to attack again. Soon the dragon will regain its strength, and if it is allowed its time in the sun for too long, it will be unstoppable. Shaw helped imprison him so long ago, but he was corrupted by it. He fell to the serpent's will. He only prays that they are not tempted by its power, as he was. Ma Guang talks to him in private, and Shaw whispers to him that while some wield the firepower through love, he only ever found his power on the path of fear. His body disintegrates and is turned to dust. Only his skeleton remains behind. The crew goes after the dragon in an attempt to take him down while he's still injured, but they are flying and they need to jump off in order to attack him from the air. Doug and his father have done this before, so they are the first to jump from the airplane. Haley is scared, but Kelly wants her to use the firepower to heat up the air underneath them, which lifts them and helps them fly. The family attacks the dragon altogether, but they don't even land a scratch. His skin is just impenetrable to their attacks. Out of nowhere, someone shoots him with a green fireball, which manages to break his skin and injure him. It's Ma Guang who was able to master the green flame, the only flame powerful enough to damage it. Meanwhile, in Chicago, vegetation has started appearing in all areas of the city damaged by the dragon. It's growing at an abnormally accelerated rate. At this speed, the entire Chicago metro area could be a dense forest in a matter of weeks. The same thing is happening in Hong Kong, the first city which was ravaged by the dragon and Master Shaw. Ma Guang hits the dragon with everything he's got and manages to injure him greatly. He tries to escape, but the crew flies after him. Unfortunately, Kelly is having trouble using the firepower to fly, and she jumps on her son's back, who takes her to the ground safely. The dragon returns to the mountain where the temple of the Flaming Fist used to be. It wants to hibernate. Apparently, green fireballs are fueled by fear, while orange fireballs are from love. The feeling is the fuel. Haley's powerful blue flame is love with deep admiration, probably for her father. Waylon masters the white flame, which represents wisdom or maybe regret. It's what he thinks. So this means that the green fire is fear, or maybe envy. Ma Guang was always jealous of Owen for discovering firepower before him. Owen gives a small demonstration and shows off that he can control other types of flames, including the green one. He also envies someone. As far back as he can remember, he's been looking for who he thought he was, but Ma Guang has always known. He's the most confident man he's ever met. The crew joins forces and attacks the dragon together. Owen and Ma Guang use the green flame to weaken the dragon, while the others use their flames to do as much damage as possible. The plan works, and the dragon is so injured that he can't fly anymore, while the others want to use this against him. They jump into the air and hit him with fireballs from above, doing more and more damage. This doesn't last long, and the crew gets ambushed on the ground, while the dragon prepares to devour them. Owen gets in the way and shoots him with a powerful red flame, a flame so powerful that it knocks him unconscious. Owen focused on his hatred for it and was able to conjure the red flame, but it's taken its toll on him and he's severely weakened. The dragon goes back to his hiding spot underneath the mountain and begins a long process of hibernation. Unfortunately, Ma Guang was corrupted by the green flame and became a vessel of the serpent's will. He attacks Owen and says he doesn't have the strength to challenge him. That's because the power of hate is destructive, harming the wielder as much as it does the opponent. Ma Guang says they have yet to discover the true meaning of what they are, what forces rule this world, and they can never grasp how they are connected to the serpent. The two of them continue fighting, but the dragon begins his hibernation, which causes the mountain to shake and cover it entirely. This also causes Ma Guang to lose his powers, and he is freed from the serpent's control, returning back to normal. Whatever power it had, it is now contained, and the family can finally go home. 15 years later, Haley is married to a guy named Tom, and they are climbing the mountain, heading toward the temple. Her father greets them, demanding to know who dares enter the temple of the Flaming Fist, but he's only joking around. Haley has a daughter named Josie, who missed her a lot while she was gone. Doug is a tough and big guy now, and says you don't get to be the dragon god if you're tiny. Kelly is also living here and everyone is happy to see each other. Haley didn't come empty-handed. She brought gifts for her family, including a pair of new Jordans for her father, so he can use them to race her. Wei Lun has been turned into a statue, just like Master Shaw, but one day he'll emerge to spread a message of love rather than Shaw's message of hate, especially now that they know so much more about the dragon's purpose. Haley races her father once more, but he cheats and gets a head start, like he always does.